Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ground and Pound podcast, the show where, as always, we're hitting you with them elbows of knowledge. And the ultimate job interview is back, Dana White's Contender Series, Week 7. And I'm joined by my co-host, Carlos. What's happening, Carlos?
Absolutely nothing, brother.
Another week of fights for us to break down, and we're going to kick things off in the first fight of Dana White's Contender Series here with Justin Torres taking on Javier Reyes. And I'm going to pass this one to you, Carlos. Who you got in this opening bout?
In this fight, I'm going with Javier Reyes. Torres, he's calm when he's fighting. He looks good. Like he could take a shot pretty well. He can be a little bit inactive at times. While stepping up. Trying to get to the striking. If he doesn't see the opening or the opening's not there, he doesn't throw anything. He doesn't do anything to create an opening as well. Never really looking to go to the mat, so that's good. We're going to get a stand-up war, is what I think most likely. If Torres can defend Reyes' takedowns, Reyes likes to mix those in. Looks to have good cardio. He'll need to pick up the pace in some way if he wants to pull this off. But Reyes, he's wild at times, but he's also very high volume. Has the reach advantage. He's quick. He has good output, and I think with his movement, he's always constantly moving, mixing in takedowns, and his high volume. I think he could actually pull out the decision in this.
Yeah, two for Reyes here. I don't disagree with anything that Carlos said. Reyes does definitely push more of a pace out of these two, and this fight really just came down to tape study for me. When I watched Reyes, he really likes to go for the single leg when it comes to his takedowns. Obviously, 26 professional fights. He's got the experience on his side here. Very gritty, very in your face, very forward pressure. But the thing that I noticed is that single leg. He will duck underneath, go for that single leg in multiple fights, look to try to get you to the ground. When he does get you to the ground, he likes to soften you up with ground and pound. Look for the submission. He looks to try and take you back, get the body triangle going. When it comes to the striking, he's very looping. I do prefer his grappling more to his striking. Everything is very wild, very, sort of out there. He's very, very susceptible to being countered. I just don't think Torres is that guy to really, and I was saying this to Carlos before we went live, that I think Reyes is definitely going to be somebody that's going to get caught by a technical striker who can kind of have like a step back right hand or throw a little bit more of a counter style punch. Reyes leaves himself very, very open, but because of that forward pressure and that ability to be relentless for the single legs, I think that's going to be what's going to get it done here for him. When I watched tape on Torres, it was funny. I watched the very first fight of Torres that I clicked on, and literally his opponent comes out, goes right for a single leg. So how does he defend that takedown? Not too bad. However, eventually he did get taken down. He did get controlled for like the first 3 minutes of the opening round. He did get back to his feet, show some urgency, and he was able to win that fight in the second round with his boxing. He was able to land big and early in the first as well. I do think that Torres has power. I do think he has a little bit more of a technical striking ability out of the two, but everything with him is also, kind of hooks, not necessarily throwing the straight shots. I think that that's the game plan to beat a guy like Reyes here, but I do think that relentless forward pressure with Reyes is going to be enough here for him to kind of get the victory, whether that be smothering him on top and getting the fight to the floor or just being able to kind of mix in the strikes and level changes here to ultimately win a decision. But I wouldn't be surprised if Reyes does get caught. Torres does have power, and I do think there is openings to be caught here. However, I do like the experience and the wrestling here of Reyes to get it done. And next up, definitely a name I'm going to butcher here. We've got Danny Barbary taking on Mantas Kontraskius. Davicius. I'm not sure how you're pronouncing that Lithuanian name, Carlos. I know it's Davicius, but who you got in this one?
I'm going to go with Danny. Is it Barber? Barber? I don't know, but I'm gonna go with him on this one. He seems to be the more polished of the two on the feet. Looks to have a little bit more of the punishing strikes. Both haven't really fought the toughest competition. If you look into their strength of schedule, like I think there's probably about 3, maybe on Bobby on his record. Probably has about 3 guys that have winning records, just slightly over 500. But Mantas here, he doesn't really have. Almost everybody has a losing record except for like one. So. Yeah, I think strength of schedule probably goes to Barber, but um, I've also seen Montes, even though he's got a winning record, he's been hurt against lower level guys in fights as well. I think there was a stoppage that he had, like a TKO on the ground. I think it was ground and pound. And in a couple of his fights, he's taken a clean shot and been on wobbly legs. So I think Barber is probably going to do the same thing. He's got good in and out. He's very technical. He's tactical. He's likes to pressure, and he uses his reach very well. So I do think that Montes, though, like he does like to get in the clinch at times, whether he's planned to do it or not. When he throws strikes, he just leans forward. So like a little bit sloppy technique. And then once he gets closer, he just grabs the clinch. So, but he does do good work in the clinch with knees and some punches and stuff. So I will take Barber in this one, but Montes isn't a chump. You know what I mean? Like he could get a finish. I just don't see technically Barber letting that happen, so I'm going with him.
Yeah, Condrata de Vicious. There you go. Suck it, booze. We're going to go with Mantas, like Carlos said. I'm actually going to pick Mantas in this one. I think this is going to be a technical kickboxing match here. Both guys, I like the striking. Just to kind of talk a little bit about Mantas, he did have one fight over in Cage Warriors. Other than that, very, very low level of competition. He does get tagged a little bit on the feet. I do think he lacks a little bit of head movement at times. Has a nice sort of bouncing style where he is light on his feet. I do worry that he might get caught here by the tall, rangy striker here in Barberia. But I think this one really just comes down to the fact that one guy, he's doing the classic spinning stuff that I don't necessarily like. When you watch Danny Barbary, he'll throw that spinning wheel kick, and I'm not a big fan of that. When you see guys spamming that, I think it's obviously a big energy exertion. It's something that they need to set up, and it's something that they can't spam over and over again. And I saw that in a few of his fights. When you look at Mantas' striking style, it's more like setting things up, bouncing in and out of the pocket with 1-2s. He likes to rip the lead leg. Both guys have got good kicks from the outside. I expect this one to be a pretty good fight. I don't think we're necessarily going to see a whole lot of grappling. When I did watch tape on Danny as well, he showed good urgency when he did get taken down. He spun, he kind of lost his balance. His opponent took him down. He showed urgency to kind of scramble. His opponent tried to go for a leg lock. He was able to defend that very well, get back to his feet. I expect this one pretty much to be a back and forth striking affair. Give me Mantas here. I think he throws the straighter shots. I think he's a little bit more composed. I think the moment of Dana White's Contender Series, impressing the boss, getting the finish, I think that might get to Barbary here, and he throws some spinning shit, and ultimately he might get caught here. Or I think Mantas can be a little bit more technical, throwing a little bit better hands, 1-2s down the pipe. So give me Mantas here to get it done. And if you guys want to attempt that last name in the comment section, or give it a go right now, say it to yourself, and you'll see how difficult it is. And next up, we have Murtazal Magnomedov taking on Brian Zercher. I'm going to pass this one to you, Carlos. Somebody's always got to go. Who's it going to be?
In this one, I'm going with Zercher in this, throws long, loose hooks, long strikes in general. Mixes in his strikes pretty comfortably on the feet, mixes them up, comfortable on the mat. He has smooth transitions on the ground. A lot of his transitions look pretty effortless, and he's got good ground control once he gets you on your back. Magomedov, decent striking, from what I've seen so far. Good wrestling. Solid grappler, I just think that one of the things that I didn't like to see is when he's defending strikes, if you throw more than two, he actually turns his head, kind of looks away from you. Defensively, he'll reach out his arms. I feel that Zercher could exploit that. And just how I feel is that he's going to get a little overwhelmed on the feet. Zercher's going to force Magomedov to go for takedowns, whether it's out of desperation. He's just going to force him to go for takedowns when he doesn't want to, so he can see it coming. I think he's going to defend him pretty nicely. And, whether he can keep the fight on the feet or maybe he'll end up getting top position on the ground. I just feel that when Magomedov's going to go for the takedowns, Zercher's going to see it. He's going to have a hard time completing the takedown, and I think Zercher's going to get the upper hand on it, so I'm going with him.
Yeah, a little bit of dissension here. I'm going to go with Magomedov, but I think arguably this is the best fight on this Dana White's Contender Series card. I'm excited to see this one. Both guys have got a great style. I could see both of these guys, on the prelims of a UFC card. But when you talk about Zercher 5-0 inside the PFL, obviously out of the two, I would actually argue he's probably fought the tougher level of competition. When it comes to his style of fighting, he's pretty well rounded. He can mix in some grappling. He will shoot for takedowns. When it comes to the striking, he likes his kicks from the outside. He's got a really nice teep kick as well, which is a very underutilized kick inside of MMA. He will throw, kicks to the body, and he's got a really nice inside low calf kick as well, which I really like. He can push a pace. He's got good cardio as well. And I do think that the one thing I kind of worry about with Zercher here is that he likes to use the kicks as a weapon. I do worry that Magomedov will use that as an opportunistic moment to kind of catch one of those kicks, take him to the ground, and implement his grappling. And when you talk about Magomedov, he looks pretty impressive, obviously 9-0 as well. When you look at the level of competition, it is a little bit more questionable than Zerchik. When he does get fights to the ground, he's got a great blast double. He's got a nice single leg. He'll body lock. He'll look to take the back. Overall, I was pretty impressed with him on tape. It's just whether these opponents that he's obviously beating are, the real deal. He has a nice step-in knee as well, knockout, which I think he won the belt with in the promotion that he was in, was pretty impressive. And he looks like the real deal. So we'll find out here on Contender Series if he is. He has power in the hands as well. I see him with a nice right hand knockout as well, straight down the pipe. He's got good submissions, arm bars, triangle chokes as well. He looked like the real deal. And to me, this fight really just comes down to, can Nurmagomedov implement his grappling against Zercher? Will he get tired and Zercher takes over as the guy with the better cardio? I'm going to say that Nurmagomedov's striking holds up. He's got nice spinning kicks as well. He has kicks of his own. And I think that he can hold his own on the feet with Zercher when it comes to the kickboxing. And if he wants to mix in the grappling, I believe he is the better grappler and the better wrestler here. I think this is a fun fight. I think it's going to be a good one. Get your popcorn ready. I think this one's going to be great. I'm going with Nurmagomedov to get this one done with the grappling. I think it's going to be a decision, though, however. I will say Nurmagomedov as well, all of his fights winning by a finish, so that would be his first time going the distance as well. And next up, we have the co-main event here on Dana White's Contender Series. And if you're enjoying the content, hit that like and subscribe button as we talk about Sophie Montenegro taking on Jesela Chavez. I believe it's Jesela Chavez. Carlos, who you got in this one?
I am taking Sofia Montenegro in this one. She has nice feints, pumps the jab pretty good. Good hesitation on her advances. Wants to keep the fight on the feet. Bunch of first and second round finishes. Mixes levels, with her striking. Shavs, she looks strong. Didn't get to see a lot of video on her. Had a hard time finding it, but I had to see an amateur Muay Thai fight, and she looked okay. She had good technique, had hard kicks. Punching was decent. The looping, just like Muay Thai would be. I'm gonna go with Montenegro because I feel she's a boxer that's looking to kick other than being a kickboxer. I find that to be a little bit more technical. I feel that they use their hands to open up their kicks and open up other avenues, and she'll mix in takedowns, and she uses her hands to mix in takedowns as well, where she gets you up against the cage. She'll throw those knees to the body, and I just feel that I don't know enough about Shavs, but Montenegro just looked very polished in comparison on the feet from what I saw from a Muay Thai stance, unless Shavs has like big power in her kicks and her punches and has a grappling background that we're not sure of. I just feel that Montenegro actually is a pretty complete package, and she's ready to be in the UFC from what I saw. So I'm going to go with her.
Yeah, Chavez has arguably got some of the lowest level of competition I think I've ever seen when researching a fighter from Tapology. All of her 5 wins, even in, I believe in some of the Muay Thai fights, none of her opponents have got a win in MMA at all. So that just pretty much says the level of taxi cab drivers that Chavez is fighting. And it's pretty much just Muay Thai or bust to me. I haven't seen any grappling. I haven't seen anything in terms of a ground game wrestling from her. When it comes to the Muay Thai, she likes to get into the clinch and throw knees and the occasional elbow. And I don't really like a whole lot of her game. And I think when it comes to stepping up in terms of MMA, Montenegro is a little bit more well-rounded here. She does have a poor level of competition, but she does have a more well-rounded skill set. She does leave openings on the feet. She throws the right hand, and she doesn't necessarily have the most head movement. She's a little bit more technical. She can definitely mix things in, but the real standout skill set here to me is going to be the grappling. When you see some of the highlights of Montenegro, although her wrestling isn't all that, she does mix in takedowns, and I think that's going to be the best path to victory here. When it comes to Chavez, most of the fights, most of the tape I've seen of her is just pretty much Muay Thai. I think if Montenegro comes out here, mixes in the takedown, slips underneath a big shot of Chavez, she can get the takedown. She gets a body lock, a nice little trip here. She can get on top. She was able to take the back of her opponent in the one fight that I did see of her mixing in the grappling, and she looked very comfortable on the ground doing so. I think Montenegro could definitely get this one done, whether it be in the striking or in the grappling. I just think that the path to victory here for her to get a Contender Series contract is just mixing in the grappling. I do think that both ladies aren't necessarily UFC level. I think that both women definitely aren't well-rounded enough for me to be that convinced that they're going to have success in the UFC. I just think Montenegro is more of an MMA fighter in this fight. Chavez is more of a Muay Thai striker. So manipulate the grappling here, get it down to the ground, find the choke, and ultimately prove us right here on the Ground and Pound podcast. And that brings us to the main event of the evening. And if you're enjoying the content here, hit that like and subscribe button as we break down Rafael Tobias taking on Jair de Oliveira. And I'm going to pass this one to you, Carlos. Who you got in the main event?
Yeah, I didn't even pick one yet because with Tobias, I only saw 2 fights, and to be honest with you, his skill set doesn't really look very impressive at all. Like, he's a little sluggish. He's a little, I don't know. Like, he throws the strikes long, which he should. He's got some reach. He's got long arms. He's tall, and uh, I've seen, I saw one of the fights where he gets finished on the ground, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with getting finished on the ground, but leading up to that, he was not winning the fight at all, and most of that was just because the opponent was pushing the pace. And when he was winning in his other fight that I saw, it was against someone of lower level competition, and so he got in the ring, he did what he was supposed to do, and got the finish. But this is the first time I haven't seen video on somebody, and I want to take the other guy because, just by looking at the build here, it's at 5'9", 205. I'm thinking maybe this guy's going to be very explosive, probably pretty powerful. I haven't seen anything on him, and compared to Tobias, I'm like, I really don't think Tobias was very impressive. So, it sucks to say that I'm not going to take the guy I saw a video on, but I'm going to go with Oliveira. I'm going to go with the black silhouette over there that nobody knows what he looks like. Nobody's ever seen him before, and yeah, I'm gonna go with that guy.
There's some random Brazilian old man right now that is blowing off cobwebs and dust of his old VCR tapes of Oliveira and the 6 fights that he's got, because no one has seen it on YouTube. This guy is a mythical creature as far as the YouTube world is concerned, because I couldn't find any tape on this guy either. But like Carlos said, 5'9" at 205. I think he's even fought at heavyweight as well. You'd have to assume that, he's kind of a big built guy, and maybe he carries a lot of power. I'm kind of just guessing at this point, but I'm right there with you, Carlos. I see, 2 fights of Tobias. He doesn't necessarily look that impressive. He looks very slow and unathletic, a little bit plodding. He has been, cracked in the past, and a guy like Oliveira, if he possesses power, could definitely knock this guy out. My concern here as well is that you've got a short guy fighting a taller guy. If Tobias can kind of back him up against the fence and implement his grappling, which is what I've seen in most of his fights, he likes the body locks, he likes to get to the clinch, get the takedown, get the trip, get on top. When he gets to fighters to the ground and his opponent to the ground, he passes guard very well. He beat you up with ground and pound, and ultimately he's good at finding the choke. My only concern here is that can he not get tagged by Oliveira, in a guy that I'm assuming has power for this build and this weight class that's fought at heavyweight. I'm going to say that he does. I'm going to say that we obviously know here the known entity in Tobias. That's why I'm going to pick him. But I'm not touching this fight with a single ounce of my money. I have no confidence in this one whatsoever. I'm going into this one blind, and that's pretty much all I have here for this fight. I'm going with Rafael Tobias here. Get the takedown, ultimately get on top, and hopefully find the submission victory. And if you're enjoying the content here, hit that like and subscribe button. And before we wrap things up for Dana White's Contender Series Week 7, I'm going to pass it over to Carlos. Is there anything you want to say to the people?
Well, guys, I mean, we tried our best to find some of the videos to, so we could let you know, like, what's the best pick for you. And to be honest with you, that's the best we got. I mean, I took a guy that I don't even know what he really looks like. So that shows you how much I believe in Tobias. But that's not to say Tobias can't pull this off either. So, yeah, apologize for that. And you should never really pick someone you've never seen before. But if takedowns is something Tobias is going to do, going up trying to take down a 5'9", 205 tree stump, like, I don't think it's going to happen. But yeah, I'm gonna say this is the best we got for a main event.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm still going to watch it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, please remember to like and subscribe.
watch Oliveira come out like an absolute steroided up world beater and just look amazing, and no one's ever seen this guy before. But if you're
I would
enjoying
love that.
if you're enjoying the content, hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace.